Wow, that light's it's on you. I'll tell you what. Do I have to answer truthfully? Is that the...
I can get you in jail too.
All right, good. All right, we'll start with an opening statement from Coach Peddie. After that, floor will be open for questions.
Well, I appreciate everyone coming out and continuing the support of this ball club, and I'm really excited that they have been able to give themselves an opportunity to play for a conference championship. They've battled through some things this year that no other club in the country has had to go through, and they continue to fight and scratch. And I thought we had a great weekend last weekend. I know that's hard for a coach to say that after 3 losses, but I really thought they showed their true colors, and they continue to battle. And we had a great week, of preparation up to that point. Kids did a great job with their finals, so that's all behind us. And truly is just baseball time. And now I told them Saturday after that tough defeat that, everybody's 0-0, and now it's time to go play 3 of your best games of the season, take a day off on Saturday, and play for the title on Sunday. So that's our goal, and has been from day one, was to make the tournament. Now making it just isn't enough. Now we got to continue to, proceed forward and hopefully get that first game, come Wednesday at 12:30. But the kids have had a great day of practice yesterday. We're excited. We'll get another practice in today, get on the bus tonight, get a practice in tomorrow morning, little festivities at the park, and then Wednesday, 12:30, tee it up with the number, 2 or 3 team in the country. But this team's ready for that challenge, and we're excited about that.
Even though it was a losing effort, did they pick up a little momentum, we think, over the weekend?
Yeah, there's no question. The confidence level, I think, was the biggest thing that we gained, and they know that they can play with them now. And that's the great feature with this game is if the pitching can keep them off balance, and they certainly are very offensive. And but again, that's what we're excited about, is to know that we played Thursday night and Saturday. Key hit here or there or one more play, we may have got 1 or 2 of those wins. So I know that doesn't make anyone and the fans, anyone feel any better, and it certainly doesn't make the players or coaches, but we certainly did a great job in much different than 9 weeks ago. And that's our goal, is to continue to improve every day. So hopefully we'll make a little bit more improvement, and Wednesday get that W. Well, none of this has been about me. It's been about what's best for the kids and trying to keep them focused and, with the task at hand. And they came here to play baseball. And unfortunately, decisions are made. Sometimes there are, people agree with them, disagree. But I think they've been relieved, just because they know at least what's happening in front of them. Whether it was me or whether they were going to do a search, I think they were going to feel a little bit better just knowing what the future was at stake for them. But they certainly have, opened up to me. I thought we've really done a great job together collectively to try to keep this thing moving in the right direction. But the credit goes to them, because they could have rolled over very quickly, and they continue to battle each and every day. And I'm just proud of them and the support that their families have given them, and to me, and again, the support that you guys have given us. So they know what's at stake, and they're excited, and it's a great opportunity for me, and it's a great opportunity for these guys, especially the seniors that hadn't made the tournament a year ago, to experience that and go out of the way they should be going.
A little odd schedule. A little different in terms of school being out and playing some early games. How do you kind of...
Well, again, I think that is a little different. A 12:30 game, so obviously we're going to have a little bit earlier BP and things. But this is what conference tournaments are. I'm just glad we're not playing that 9 a.m. game, because my BP at 7:10 is not that good. So we'll get that. That game will be going on. We'll get our BP in, and again, it's baseball. Once we get started, 12:30 is not any different than what we usually play on Sundays. So, but we'll be at the hotel. We'll have had a good day's rest, the day before, and again, right now they're going on adrenaline, and they're going to be excited either way, whatever time we play. I actually feel better that we're getting up and getting after it, as opposed to sitting around and waiting until 7:30 or at 8, come Wednesday night.
Bruce, how important is it to have the interim tag removed as far as moving forward with the guys who've already signed and then recruiting in the
Well, I think that's been the biggest relief. The recruits were sitting there. They weren't sure, how things were going to play out. And this is what goes on in this business is, you sign, and it's funny how a lot of people think that you sign because I wanted to be a Warhawk all my life. And that's truly not the case. They obviously are impressed with the academics, the setting, all those things. But, again, it's the coaches that are selling themselves to these kids and to these families, and that's who you commit to. And then when there's a change made, you have to worry, is this the right place for me to continue to go? But for me, recruiting-wise, moving forward, it's the biggest thing that could have happened. We had called all the kids right away, and told them what had happened, and they were all on board at that point. They were like, well, you and Coach Thomas had recruited us anyways, and and they understand the business side of it too, that it always can change. Matter of fact, 2 of those kids went through this already, when they went to Texas Tech and they had a coaching change. So they were just concerned about that, and now it's more of a relief, though, that the tag has been, moved off. And but me moving forward, recruiting-wise, is huge because people are going to use that against you recruiting, and so it's a positive having it removed at this point.
You made the Babe Ruth 27 Yankees reference last week. Now that you've got an up-close and personal look at the Cajuns, are they worthy of a 2-3 ranking in the country?
They're pretty doggone good. They come at you with a lot of different things. They can hit the long ball. They can run. All of them can run. To have at least eight guys in the lineup who can drag bunt and move the ball around, I mean, they're well schooled. They're well coached. I think they're a little different team on grass. I think I think you'll see a little difference there. And pitching, they just keep coming at you with a bunch of arms and situational guys. And third team in the country. I mean, I don't know. I mean, because I think then we better be ranked pretty good if we've just played them as tough as we did the last 2, Thursday and Saturday. But they certainly deserve what they've been given. 49-7. And they've beaten Alabama and they've played some quality teams and LSU. And but again, that's always up for debate because I don't know if you can put them in the SEC on a certain weekend that they're going to be, the third best team. But Robichaux always does a great job and has these kids prepared and pitches well. And I'll tell you what, they got a no-quit attitude as well. So every time we kind of smacked them, they came right back and smacked us. And that's a credit to that coaching staff and those kids. And they buy into the system. But they're pretty talented, that's for sure.
What do you feel is the big key that your team needs to do in order to make it Sunday in that championship game?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, if we can solidify the pitching, continue to do the things that we've been doing. Having Dye back this week will certainly help us. He didn't travel with us last weekend. But again, our Achilles heel all year is we've scored some runs and then we give them right back. We need a shutdown inning, then we need to come out and score again and then get that shutdown and then get a little separation. We just haven't been able to do that, throughout the year. So hopefully this is the right time. But again, for at least starting with ULL, we've got to minimize their base runners, control the running game with them because, again, they can do so many things, and they are capable of hitting a long ball. The other 2 teams in our bracket, Arkansas State, we're not going to bring that ball game back up. And on Sunday, we were up 8-2 in the 8th inning, and we lost that one to Arkansas State. We beat Troy opening night with them and then got beat in the bottom of the 9th. So, the bracket, we certainly can go in and do our things and get to that point on Sunday. So, again, people look at it, you're the 8th seed, but everybody's 0-0. And, we go out and play our best baseball, which I still think is in front of us. We saw really good flashes of it this past weekend, but I anticipate with the energy level and everything, once they get into the flow of the game, I think these guys will be fine and look forward to the challenge. And, again, the biggest thing we told them all year is you were picked 10th. Well, you're not 10th anymore. You're in the top 8. And now you just got to continue to fight and scratch, and it's one game at a time right now.
Seems like that whole nothing-to-lose mentality is playing in their favor because they go out and, for the most part, it doesn't look like they play tense.
No, they're not tense. And I'm glad a lot of you weren't at practice last night because there was no tension there. They are a loose group, and that's part of what I try to do with them as a coach too. I've been in a lot of big games, been around a lot of great players, and this group is as good, coming to the park, just knowing what their job is. But this game, you can't play tense, and you can't play afraid to make a mistake. And we make them. I make them. I told them the first day. I said, I'm going to get you thrown out at third. And early on, I was getting some people thrown out, whether it was at third or at home. But I don't trust outfielders. Sorry, Stitch, but they just don't make perfect throws, and sometimes that's what it takes. And so you got to be aggressive, and I think that's really what we've changed offensively too, is being more aggressive and hitting and running and stealing some bags. And but again, I don't want them to be tense. There's nothing to be tense about. They've been playing this game all their life, and this is just a bigger stage now, and this is the best time. This is the fun time. All that work, 6 a.m. and getting in here lifting and running those stadium steps, and this is why you do it. So now that you can come play, come Wednesday at 12:30. But last night's practice, zero tension. I promise you that. So we're ready to go. Well, there's a little bit, and I don't know if Stitch was able to get his phone out in time for a video, but it was pretty good.
When I saw the different scenarios and y'all going into Saturday's game, did you already know that y'all were in? Had Little Rock already lost?
I knew the last I knew from Alex, I think it was 2-0, and then the last thing I told him is I said I don't even care about that game. I said I want to win this one, and just that way we would secure it. And I had. Once that game got started, I had no idea what was happening. I know a couple players were Dye, who wasn't in uniform, who's keeping a chart, was looking at things, but it's probably best that I didn't know. And again, it's kind of our mentality too, one game at a time. Let's just put it in our own hands. But the great feature, as I sit back and think about it, is they did that. A week ago, they did that with Georgia State. In that opening weekend when I was in charge, they did that with Little Rock. That's what it came down to. So we did what we had to do. I really wanted that win just for moving forward and confidence and knowing that we hadn't played well the first weekend series against them. But we did what we had to do, and I'm not trading my spot. I'm glad that we're continuing to play. We got and I just told Troy, our defensive coordinator, I said, if I see you earlier this week, I said, I'm not going to be too happy. So he said, well, I'll see you on Monday. And that's the mentality that I'm taking. We've got meal money through Sunday, and we've got rooms reserved through Sunday. And it's all I've ever done with a tournament is there's no, and I remember a kid asking me, Coach, now do we we had lost a game, and are we to pack our stuff and put it on I said, you plan on losing? I said, no. I said, if we lose, I said, we'll come back to the hotel. And if it's a night's lodging it costs us a night's lodging. But we're here to win the thing. And you got 7 other teams that are saying the same thing. We're all made it, and now it's who plays the best. And I feel that we're playing well right now and at the right time. And the last time we were on that field, we won a heck of a game with South Ale. And so we've got good feelings going into it.
I guess it's important to always mention to these guys and guys moving forward, play 30 of these conference games. Just goes to show you every single game is important. You got in by a game.
I told them, after the ball game the other day, I said, this is what those Sundays, Arlington, where you lost the first 2 and you battled back and won that one. We had a few of those series. And they, again, oh, man, we lost 2. 0-3, 1-2 is what put us in the tournament this week. So, again, these kids, nobody in the country has gone through what these kids have gone through this year, and they continue to fight and battle. Nothing surprises me. The dance moves I saw out in left field, that surprised me because they're not very athletic moves. I can promise you that. But it's been a fun group to be around, and to see them mature and to see where they've come from. When they were down in the dumps and we weren't playing well. Now we are, and it had nothing to do with the coaching change. It has to do with that these kids mentally know what they're capable of doing. We just weren't doing it early on in the season, and now they've taken it upon themselves to let's get after this thing and let's win it.
You talk about no other team's been through this in the country.
No.
No other coach has too.
I've been through a lot of stuff the last probably 10 months as a coach, but again, it's all part of the business. I mean, it's crazy. Everything, and I've always believed in this, it's timing. You just don't know how it's going to shake out. These kids hear me every day. That's why I come to the park, because you just don't know. And that's why I'm going to go to the park Wednesday. And it's not going to surprise me at 3:30, 4 o'clock that we're going to have a happy meal because we're excited because we just won game 1. And there's Tabby, you know me well enough. There's no arrogance in me. It's a work ethic thing. I believe in my kids. I trust my kids, and I know we're going to get a great effort, and hopefully it's good enough to get us that win. But, it's been an interesting run, that's for sure. But the kids have made it very easy because they continue to show up and they work, and the support staff and community people, if this is going to happen, this is probably the right area for it to happen. If it's somewhere else, the move is lost. The support's probably lost because it's not that big a deal. But athletics is a big deal, and people support these programs here. And to see those people continue to show up down the left field line and the right field line, that's a credit to them, but it's a credit to these kids because they continue to play hard. So it's been an interesting year, but it's almost behind us, and better days are ahead. That's for sure.
I just don't know very many people. I don't think if it was me, I'd have to go to like a self-help book about how you might could write a book about after all this is done. How do you go through such turmoil? But I mean, you had to dig pretty deep from just day-to-day basis.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing was just my experience as being a head coach before. The first head coaching job, there were no issues. We just won and had great players and recruited, and I was in a great area in Pennsylvania, and it wasn't easy, but I mean, you had to work. Then you go to New Orleans, and I had 2 great months as a head coach, and then all of a sudden you're going to go to Division III. They took an assistant coach from me who was one of my best friends. It was a crazy run. But, if you put it in perspective, it's not about me. It's always about the kids. And that's really what it was about. I talked to a boy last night from New Orleans that I coached. I had him for 2 years. Was a great 300 hitter last year, playing Jonathan Gray at Oklahoma and Houston and Baylor and all the great teams that we played last year. And things didn't work out for him this year, and he's done. I was talking to him at 11:30 last night, and that's why I say it's all about the kids. This isn't. You know what? You just continue to work hard, and good things will happen. And I really hope that the kids realize that this is just something that goes on in athletics. It won't be the last time that it happens. I think the biggest thing that probably shocked everybody was the timing of it. But it happened, and now you got to move forward. I mean, I was just glad to. My hardest thing that first day was trying to find the lineup cards, because I didn't know where they were. But once we got to the game in the first pitch, I've got 26 years in, so I wasn't worried about the baseball side of it. Running around today trying to get meal money, that's been an interesting task already. Still don't have it, so but we're working on it. And again, I get excited just because these kids give it to me, and I don't feel like I'm 50. I may act it a little rocky at times, my back and my arm, but if I just feel if I'm energized, from them, that they're going to show up and play hard, and that's what I expect from them, come Wednesday.
You said only once you had a team that you played 13 times.
Yeah. We played Bloomsburg University 13 times, and we played them 4 in the conference. We lost to them in the conference tournament, played them 2 more times, beat them for the title, went to the regionals, lost to them, which we shouldn't have lost. But and then we ended up losing, or 1-2, and then lost in the championship game, but played them also in Florida before our regular seasons even started. So God rest his soul, Matt Haney, my good friend who just passed away, the old Bloomsburg coach. But I remember talking to their catcher at that time, and I said, "What are you so upset about?" He goes, "Well, you just kicked our tail again." And I said, "This means nothing. It's Florida." I said, we're both just getting started. And I was like, what an idiot when I said that to him, because they kept them fired up, and then they ended up beating us and going to the World Series that year. But we know an awful lot. There's really no more scouting reports. It's kind of, okay, hey, you need to move in. You need to cover the gap. We know that he's going to bounce sliders. When you play somebody that long or as many times, I mean, you pick up some tendencies real quick. So, but also they've picked up some of ours, and I just think it's going to be a battle just because it's a rivalry thing, and we just played them extremely difficult. So, but I like that challenge, and I know these guys do too. So it'll be a fun game on Wednesday.
Coach, you didn't have to use a whole lot of pitching this weekend. You used some different guys in different situations, but I think 4 was the most in one game. How does that kind of set you up for the weekend?
Well, I think that was somewhat of the plan. I mean, come Saturday Friday when things weren't quite going our way, we had jumped on them, 1-0. and then just kind of went silent with the bats, and they brought in some guys that, did a good job against us. But, that was the intent, was to try to, conserve for us, not only this week, for that weekend, but for this upcoming week. So everybody's well rested other than my boy Bray. But again, I know he's been doing what he needs to do. And but that's where I think our success has turned this year, was using multiple guys and giving different looks. That's a tough thing to adjust to as a hitter. So we're going to continue with that plan. We'll go with our starters as long as we can, but we're not going to be afraid to go to that bullpen because they are rested and they've had some success and confidence. So that's an important thing for us moving forward.
Any other questions for Coach Peddie? Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you. Brad, I'd like to listen to you, but I got to go try to get your meal money, brother. I know you need to eat. I mean, my Lord.
You can get this done before noon?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay. See you in a few days. Be down there.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Hey, how do you do, brother?
All right, first up, senior pitcher Tyler Bray. Floor's open for questions.
Was your arms yesterday morning after throwing the most innings you've thrown in
Uh,
the game? And I mean, how long?
Yeah, it's been a while. Junior college, I think, but it's good. I mean, I'm ready to go. JD and Roy have been working with me, and Gigi, the chiropractor, so we've been getting ready. So ready to go.
What's this like as you guys get ready for the third part of the season?
Yes, sir. It's a big thing. I mean, that's what came here to do, is win a championship. Play for ULM and win championships is what we came here to do. And that's what our coaches always preach to us, is do everything you can for tomorrow. And and it pays off. Just like Georgia State, come win 2 games, put yourself in the right place to make the tournament, and that's what we did. So we don't have to go down to Lafayette and get a win or 2 wins or 3 wins even. So it was big. We're excited, ready to go. I know all the seniors on the way home, we're pretty pumped up about it, because we haven't made the conference tournament. We didn't make it last year for the transfers, and it's a big deal for us. So we're ready to go.
How much does that eat at you, that
0-12? We got a lot of smart guys on our team. Josh Fashion and Chad Miller and Logan Dobson, and they're back. The odds are in our favor. The odds are every game is. It's hard to beat us. 10 in a row, 11 in a row. Okay, 12. It's going to be tough to beat us the 13th time, So, but we know we can play with them. We showed them that Thursday and Saturday. We pitch good and you play good defense, and you're going to have a chance to beat anybody. You just play good defense and pitch well. Don't give them free passes or errors or small little things that you shouldn't mess up on. You can play with anybody, and we know that, and we got a great group of guys that believe that now. After the last 2 performances we've had, and Thursday and Saturday, it's big for us, and we're ready to go. We're ready to go get them. So.
Adversity would probably be the recurring theme for this whole season, not just with the situation with Coach Shake and now with Coach Peddie taking over, but you being in that closer role, you faced some ups and downs this year. What have you learned, in particular, maybe from Arkansas State, going from that lesson to maybe moving forward? What have you learned over the past few weeks?
It's every pitch, and that's one thing. And I hear it, and it's one thing to hear it, but whenever you're in that situation and you have good things go right, they fall in line, it doesn't click until the exact opposite happens, where one pitch you leave over the middle and then bam, it's on, or you walk the leadoff hitter, or you don't cover the right side on a bunt, or you let a runner get too far off a second to take third, little things like that. That's when you learn. It's not whenever you do them right. It's when you do them wrong that you're like, wow, you need to focus every pitch, every time you get the ball. Make sure you know where the defense is at. Make sure this guy doesn't bunt. Make sure you keep him on first, hold him on as long as you can. Things like that. Especially, that's what I was sitting there thinking. Arkansas State, that 8-2, that was mine. that was on me, and that was. See, that game right there, play for tomorrow. That going back to that, that one game that we're 8-2, that should be over. That game should be over. We're coming home with a win. we don't. I let it slip, and I'm not focused, or I just can't find it, or I'm just not prepared right. That game could have hurt us this weekend, and how long it took us for it to pop up. But that game could have been the turning point of the whole. Either we're going home, seniors are done, or we're here where we're at now. So.
When you signed, they just come, or you had already signed, and then they win the Sun Belt tournament, go to a regional. So you're pumped coming in, thinking, this is what I get to build on. And so after missing out last year, what if some of the guys told you that were there, like Stitch, like Dobson, who were there in Western Kentucky 2 years ago, about you get there and everybody's 0-0 and.
Well, yeah, that's what they say, And I remember, I think it was me and Stitch and Face, Josh Fashion were sitting around. And he goes, "I tell you what, man, we just got hot at the right time, and we just rolled with it." And got in the. I think Stitch didn't he have some frogs or two frogs something. Freddie or what was it? Freddie, old Freddie, and he tells stories like that. I mean, that's just the atmosphere of it. Just man, we had so much fun. I stayed with so and so, and I remember we beat so and so the first night, and then we just kept rolling, and Jeremy Sy hitting a walk off, and WB got the pitcher MVP, right, and just had like 2-3 wins and stuff like that, and I know it just gets you pumped up, just ready to go, ready to get down to Mobile and play. It's really.
Did you go looking for a frog down there?
Oh, absolutely! I've been looking for frogs all over the place. So I think we tried to find one. It was kind of funny. We were putting the tarp on the field, and Stitch goes, "I got him," and I'm like, "What are you talking about, man?" He goes, "Frogs." I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing?" "Man, you don't know about the frogs." And he told me the story. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Put the frogs in the locker room." It was pretty cool.
I think those guys also grew out mustaches. Would you be able to grow out a
I can a white one, a peach fuzz, about all I got. I'm not good with the facial hair at all.
You talk about WB, Will came in and he pretty much 2 extra inning games. It seemed like he was more of a starter because he pitched so many innings, and you fell into that closer role since he's left, and just knowing how important that is, and going into talking about every time y'all put up a run, somehow they find a way to put them back. So late in the game, when you're just how much do you put a lot of pressure on yourself in that closer role, or have you gotten to the point where you've done it so much and you've faced every situation of a win and a loss that it's just kind of like, okay, let me just go out there and do my thing?
Well, no, not pressure. I mean, there's urgency, I guess. There's always that sense of urgency where I can't mess around here. 8-2 Arkansas State or what was it? 4 runs against Georgia State Saturday here, and it doesn't matter what it is. Just that sense of urgency to go out and do the best you can, and don't take a pitch off. And I remember WB. I was actually talking about this with my dad last night. With the Blue Jays and stuff, and we were like, yeah, man. He taught me everything. He taught me. Yeah, this is what you need to do. I remember him saying something, skipping rocks on the river is what he said. You got to throw like that and stuff like that. And he's a great pitcher. He is, and I look up to him a lot. Texting him, calling him for advice. Because we throw a lot alike. And how was it whenever you come in the 6th inning and you got to go? He's like, well, it's the same thing, man. Just don't think about innings you're pitching. Just think about batters you're getting out, and take it by batter instead of worrying about how many innings you're throwing. And things like that. You can learn so much from everybody up higher than you, and just even younger. You never know what you can learn from baseball, and that's what great sport, best sport in the world.
Any other questions for Tyler? Thank you.
Sweet, thank you.
You got him all set up now with all this problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last up, outfielder Justin Stawychny. Floor is open for questions.
What's it like getting ready for the postseason now?
It's exciting. It's our goal from the beginning of the season is make the tournament, and we're here. We expected to be here, so it's very exciting.
It's like getting another rematch against.
Yeah. We wanted it. This past weekend didn't go exactly how we wanted to. We should have had 2 games, especially Saturday. So getting a chance to get them again we're pumped for it.
now that you're there and after being a part of 2 years ago, just what does it feel like to kind of have like a sense of like rejuvenation of, okay, we can put all that behind us and start from scratch where anything can happen?
Thinking back to 2012 when we won it, I mean, we know all you got to do is make the tournament, and it's all about getting hot at the right time. And safe to say, we're swinging right now. Our pitching's been very good, so it's going to be a very interesting week for us.
You superstitious? And if you are, what do you do going into the week?
Me personally, I'm not really that superstitious. I'd like to have some fun, maybe get some mustaches or something, but, 'cause we had a good time with that in 2012, so we'll see what we can come up with.
So you were the one of the guys who, whenever Coach Peddie came in the locker room and said that, the interim tag had been removed, you could see the relief on your face. Do you think that it really helped you guys go into Lafayette this past week and how well y'all played of going, okay, that's one thing we don't have to worry about?
Absolutely. Even as players, thinking there's a chance we can have a different coach next year, our jobs aren't safe. So thinking that what we did for soccer, we cleaned house. I'm sure other teams, they clean house. New coach, they don't want us. So just knowing that, our job, we're going to be able to play baseball next year it's huge. Huge relief for us.
And it's kind of that whole nothing to lose mentality.
Right.
Does it make it that much more fun? I mean, of course, going into the tournament, being the #1 seed and being the Sun Belt Conference champions, I mean, they did that in 2008, but it looked like they kind of played a little tight and they were done after 3 games. So going in kind of with this whole lax of, hey, nobody's
absolutely.
counting us out.
We had nothing to lose. I mean, why not us? That's what we say all the time. Why not us? People count us out all the time for some reason. But, we're here to play, and, we're going to try to win this thing.
What was it that obviously with differing styles of Coach Shake and Coach Peddie, what flipped the switch for you guys, you think, with the change?
I think it was we're a lot more relaxed and just really laid back and just kind of, let it happen because we play best when we're relaxed, and we're trying to look at that bad week that we let go Shake and just thinking let's just play for him and not really think about let's not screw up and all that, just like play our game and see what happens, because obviously at the time we weren't doing what we were supposed to do. So, I mean, that's on us. So, as a team, we got together and we were just like, hey, something needs to change. And we figured it out that weekend, and throughout the rest of the season, it looked pretty good.
Having been here for 2012, going through that conference tournament, what similarities do you see in this team and that team?
We're grinders, absolutely. And you think back, we didn't start off too hot with that team either. And, we made it in, and every year it's close. So, we just snuck in this year, and we expect to do the same thing. Hopefully we can get the big hit this time against Lafayette or, whoever else we have to play. And we're going to hold teams close, and that's just pretty much all it's about, is getting that big hit.
Being one of the few guys that was on that team, do you feel like it's your responsibility to maybe lead the team into this conference tournament? Maybe, okay, no jitters or anything like that before, or just to kind of prepare them?
Yeah, but I mean, as Coach Peddie was saying, we're really laid back, so I don't think there's any jitters anywhere with anybody. But, we got a lot of hitters on this team that are very capable of leading this team however far we want to go. Like Keelan Rash, I mean, have a day. What better day to go 14 innings when he's 5 for 7, So just things like that. We have a lot of guys in our lineup that could perform at any time.
So do you want to tell the backstory of last night's practice? You talking about, we're so relaxed, and they had this little giggle, and it kind of made me curious.
All I'll say is, I don't care what Coach Peddie says. We got some moves in the outfield.
Is this like the new version of the Harlem Shake y'all are trying to come out with?
No, we're just having.
Tell me
no. No, we're just having some fun in the outfield during BP. So it's nothing much. Just having a lot of fun. Yeah, come out.